Hey, what is going on, everyone? Happy Thursday and the start of the Kitty Pryde Blitz and also the start of the Covert Ops event. Now, this is what I want to go over today in this video. Now, it's quite tough to say the least. It's going to be a bit more challenging than previous events, mostly because this is requiring military characters and there's only 9 total, assuming that you unlocked Red Guardian, which maybe not everyone did depending on where you are at in the game. So that's what I want to go over in this video. So the first part is going to be going over the event itself, including the characters that you can use for that and who are probably the most likely you're going to want to use, at least for the raid portions of that, because it is split up between Blitz, Raid, and Arena. This time, actually, the Arena points are a little bit better than previous events that are similar to this. So we're going to go all over that today, and we're also, in the second part of the video, we're going to be going over through some spreadsheet math that I came up with, and hopefully that gives you guys a better idea in terms of what you need to do in order to accomplish this event to clear it, and how many blitz rotations you're probably going to have to do to get this done. Now, like I said, fortunately this is the Kitty Pryde Blitz, so I guess it's a good time to do that, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we have to get done. So let's get this video started, guys. So in the event that you haven't actually logged into the game yet, we do have this in the event selection, so I wasn't sure how long this event was actually going to be going on for, but it turns out that we do have this for 10 days, so this is the Covert Ops Milestone. Now, I'm a bit unhappy with this one because, well, the military characters, A, aren't really the best, and B, they don't really have a whole lot of raid utility. So we're being asked to use them in raids for some extra points. But yeah, so we'll actually just click on the button and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm already at 414 points. This is entirely from blitzing that I've done so far. So by looking at the scoring mechanism, we can take a look here and, we'll illuminate this more in the math section on the second half of this video. So battle in the arena, 30 points. And then actually, I just want to do this mode by mode. So battle in the arena is 30, and then if we scroll down here, actually it's right here, win or lose an arena battle with military is 15. So if you were to use a suicide match with 5 military characters, you're actually getting 105 points, which you'll see actually isn't too bad compared to the total milestone points required, but that's depending on how many arena matches you do per day and how many you're willing to throw away. Because if you're someone like me who's trying to keep competitive in the arena, this is going to be quite challenging to keep your position and sort of maintain extra points from this if that's what you want to do. Realistically, the military characters probably aren't going to be good enough for you to win a match, so this is probably going to be a throwaway. Now, in terms of raids here, so win or lose a raid battle is 20 points, and that's okay. So if you're just doing your regular raid battles anyways, hypothetically, let's say you do 10 attacks over both raids, that's 20 attacks, 20 times 20 is 400, I think, with mental math here. But anyways, so if you use a military character in that raid battle, let's say 5, that's pretty generous because you might not be able to do that both over the Greek and Ultimates because of the difficulty. But hypothetically, if you do, you would get about 95 points per raid battle with a full group of military. Now, again, that's really unrealistic, as we'll go over onto my spreadsheet later on, and we'll kind of like break it down how it might be a bit more manageable. But yeah, there's a lot of points stemming from that as well. If you're able to manage military characters in raid, that will kind of lower the amount of points that you're going to need via blitz. So a simmed blitz match, which most of us are probably doing. So I'm going to be doing my math in my spreadsheet related to sim blitzing, because honestly, I haven't done manual blitzing in such a long time. So win a sim battle in blitz is 6 points, and then with military characters 5. So if you did a full military blitz team, that would be 31 points if you stuck 5 together, and then you could just spam some blitz charges as well to get some extra points that way. But let's see, so I'm already at 414. This is largely, I did 1 full blitz rotation, and then I did some 25 blitz charges with a full military team, I think about 5 or 6 times, and that got me here. I haven't done any raids or any arena throwaways yet, but that's where we got into. And so the main stuff that you're going to want to be looking at for rewards, though, in this is the Armory 14 orbs, which is the Gear Tier 14 orange orbs, and then the Armory 15, which I believe starts towards the bottom here. Actually, it's even further. It's like right at the end here. Armory 15 orb fragments here. So you get a total, you don't even get a full orb a day. So you actually have to do this over the 10 days, or roughly every couple days, you'll pick up an orb here and there. But we'll get to the total rewards as well in the spreadsheet, which I've calculated out. But essentially you're getting 1200 orb, Armory 15 orb fragments, and then, I don't know, what was it here, 900, 1400 of the Armory 14. So they are pretty decent, and let's double check through onto the orb section just to see what actually is inside. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's actually not too bad. Unfortunately, there's a finite number of orbs that you're going to be able to get through this event, depending on how far you get. And so they are right at the bottom, I'm pretty sure. So Armory 14, I don't know if I actually looked into this. So 1 guarantees 1. It doesn't say if there's more than that. I hope that's... maybe, is that it? Maybe. So you're going to get... this one's a bit poor. The Armory 14 isn't that great. So if this is the case, then it sounds like you're only getting 3 Tier 14 mini-uniques per orb, which is actually very low compared to the Armory 15, which is a little bit better, which is also 3, I think. But, actually, no. Guarantee... oh, well, I don't know why it's separated like that. That's weird. I don't know why they decided to do it that way. Oh. This makes it sound like the right pillar and the left pillar only have certain ones. Okay, so I guess so. Anyways, so it looks like you're getting 3 per Armory 15 orb as well, though. But yeah, I mean, it's extra resources that you didn't have before if you're able to clear that. And I think what we're gonna have to look at, though, is the military characters that you can use for this event, the ones that you're most likely probably gonna use for this event, and obviously this is the military roster here. So we had the Red Guardian event just come around. Wow, I don't know where my English was there. So he is a viable character if you decide to build him up a little bit. And the main reason for that is that his taunt actually heals the full team, gives defense up to everyone, so this might be a viable character that you might want to use if you can sort of fit these military characters into your raid team. That's going to be really important to get points for this event here. Other than that, Captain Marvel is actually really good if you do have her leveled up as well, because her passive has healing on it. There at the bottom somewhere, on turn heal self for 20% of max health if you did decide to get the T4s in level 5. If you're someone who has kept Captain Marvel around for a while, she's probably your best bet in terms of raid characters that might be somewhat viable. Punisher, because we're currently in the alpha raids, if you wanted to run the city lane with Punisher, that is also a possibility. It really just, it gets really difficult, I think, for the alpha raid in terms of who you're going to want to use, because they're quite spread out. So in terms of, you know, city, global, and cosmic, most of them are global, with the exception of Punisher, who's city, and Captain Marvel, who is cosmic. Other than that, I'm pretty sure the rest of them are all global. And really, realistically, you're not going to be wanting to use characters like Mercenary Soldier, Winter Soldier, Yelena, War Machine. It's really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but in order to maximize those raid points, you're gonna need to try and include as many of these characters as possible. Now, how you do that is entirely up to you. You know, if your alliance, talk that over with your alliance. You know, if you guys decide to maybe dumb down your raid difficulty a little bit for the duration of this event, you know, going from even from Ultimus 7 to God, I don't know, like Ultimus 6, you know, just to really make it easier for you to be able to just auto these nodes. But it's gonna be, you know, I don't know if it's worth the loss necessarily of, you know, Ultimus 7 plus rewards just to get these event rewards. This is a really weird one. And I don't know what to suggest for, you know, every alliance is going to have to make their own individual decision on this. But yeah, I think you might be able to get away with the Alpha 4 base difficulty, though, and probably Beta 4 base difficulty as well when we get around to that. It's not too hard. So I think you might be able to use your military characters there. But when it comes to Ultimate 7 point whatever, you know, I'll tell you, I'm not going to be running any of these characters in Ultimate 7.3. So that's going to be really difficult. So I'm going to have that conversation with my alliance, whether or not we want to go back down to Ultimate 7.0 or even Ultimate 6 just to get this done. So yeah, really annoying, guys, but let's jump on over to the spreadsheets where we're going to talk about the math involved in this and what you're going to actually have to do in order to get this event cleared. Okay, and here we are over on my infamous spreadsheet section for math here. So this is the Covert Ops Milestone. We do have a total of 10 days, just to make that clear for you guys if you didn't know that. This is a daily milestone that includes military characters. So there's a total of 9 military characters with Red Guardian, and you know, this might be dependent on whether or not you unlocked both Red Guardian and Yelena. Those are the 2 newest characters, and how many military characters you have, and that's going to depend on, obviously, if you're in the early game, the mid game, or the late game, or whatever. But this is going to assume that you kind of have all 9 characters unlocked. If you don't, just take the points that I have here and kind of dumb it down a little bit, and that'll kind of give you an idea of how much you're going to need to do to clear this event. So we'll start off the beginning. So if you win a sim blitz, again, I'm only doing simulating blitzes because I'm not doing the manual ones. So you get 6 points for that, regardless of sort of who you're using on that team. If you include military characters, you get 5, so a full Blitz military team will get you 31 points. Now, I have 1 rotation here, and there's a total of 9 characters, so you actually have to do 4 military characters with someone else if you wanted to sort of spam blitz charges on those characters, but you would get 57 points if you did 1 rotation for all 9 military characters. So, and then if you had, let's say for example, 25 other teams, and that's what I've used in this example here, you're going to get 150 points. So that's the 25 teams times 6 points gets you 150. Add those two numbers together and you get 207 for 1 full rotation. Now, I kind of extrapolated a little bit here in terms of points required. 828 points for 4 rotations, 1242 for 6 rotations. Now, I think you're probably, depending on how much you raid with military characters, you're probably going to need somewhere between 4 and 6 rotations daily in order to clear this event, assuming you have this many characters available, so at least 25 teams plus all of the military characters. The good thing about blitz simming and blitzing in general, I guess, is that you can always drop down the tier if you're not like looking to score points, but you want to get the event points. Then, you know, use maybe 5 teams to just intentionally lose, drop your tier, and it makes those other 25 teams that you have left over, however many, and make it easier for them to win. So let's go over the raid points here. So this is a little bit more simpler, but it is a bit more challenging. So win or lose a raid, you get 20 points. Win or lose with a military, you get 15. If you were to raid with 5 military characters, you get 95 points per raid match, win or lose. So do keep that in mind. This could be a suicide throwaway as well. Now, because I don't know how many people are raiding with military characters and if you're going to be able to, because like I said, for alpha it's a bit challenging, and there's only like, most of them are global, whereas one of them is city and one of them's cosmic. So this is a bit conservative here. This is, I'm assuming you're doing 10 raid attacks over the course of both raids. Total over both raids with at least 2 military characters would score you around 500 points. So this is Ultimus and Greek raids. If you somehow manage to get at least, you know, 10 raid attacks with 2 military characters in each attack, then you would get this much points. Now this would obviously just compound on top of the points that you get for Blitz, somewhere between, you know, whatever rotations you do. You know, this is roughly what you're going to look to get in Blitz. And then let's talk about Arena, because there's actually a little bit more points to be had here than in previous events. So if you battle in Arena, just do your normal. For example, if you just ignored the military characters, you would get 30 points per arena, and then a total of 150 for 5 regular arena matches. But if you did decide to do a throwaway match and you included 5 military characters, you would get 105 total. So that's 30 and then 15 times 5, add that together and you get 105. If you were to throw away 5 matches, which I don't recommend, it would get you 525 points. But, you know, if you were willing to do that and you just, you know, weren't able to pick up the points in any other place in raids or wherever, or you just, you know, you missed a blitz rotation, then this is where you might need to pick up some points here. So the total points that you need for this event is 2020. Interesting number, because we're in 2021, but I guess they I don't know what the plan, you know, this is kind of coincidental, but the total points needed is 2020. So if you kind of look at some of these numbers here, you're looking at, well, maybe if I did 5 throwaway matches for arena, those 525, did all of this in raids, you know, this is conservative because you might actually score more than this, but I just didn't know where people would be at with their military characters and what they're able to kind of throw away in terms of raid military attacks, because it depends on, you know, whether or not you're in a very high rating alliance with Ultimate 7.5 or something like that, or 7.3 or wherever you are. It might be really challenging to get these military characters in. And even for the Greek raids, like I said, if you're not running the global lane for alpha, this is going to be a bit more challenging to be able to squeeze these characters in. It might be a bit easier come along for beta though, because you can kind of squeeze those characters into other teams a little bit better, and maybe that's where you're going to pick up a lot of these points when beta rolls back around, I think in about 4 days. And then this is the points here for Blitz. So as you can see, you would basically need to do 6 to 7 blitz rotations realistically with these sort of raids, maybe a little bit more, and throw away a couple of arena matches in order to score the 2020. This is quite challenging, you know, the amount of it's going to need some tweaking in terms of your own gameplay, and I think a lot of this is going to come down to the raids section. So again, the points that you earn from raids could be more than 500, could be less than 500. If it's less than 500, then, you know, you're really going to need to come up with more blitz rotations. You're going to need to throw away more arena matches if you really want to clear this milestone. So it's not the easiest one to clear, and it's going to involve some communication, I think, with your alliance to figure out exactly how to set it up for everyone. It is a solo milestone though, So, you know, obviously this isn't going to impact your milestone or your alliance on an alliance-wide scale, but I think that you're going to have a conversation, you're going to need to have a conversation with your alliance leader, with your alliance captains, to figure out what the best fit for raiding is for this event, which is 10 days. Now, the main rewards, of course, over the 10 days is going to be 6 armory, 15 orbs, 7 armory, 14 orbs, 50 ABCs, and 50 superior basic catalysts. Now, this is assuming you cleared all 10 of them. There's some Blitz credit orbs in there as well, I forgot, and some catalysts, which I didn't really mention here as well. So this is over the course of the 10 days. So all in all, is this event worth it? I think for people like me who are kind of chasing after these G15 minis, I think it probably will. But like I said, if you're having to downgrade on Ultima 7, you know, wherever you are in Ultima 7, and maybe even go down to Ultima 6 just to make it easier for this, it is going to be quite challenging, and I wonder over the course of the event if it's worth it long term for the loss in resources that you're going to not get, you know, from other ways, you know, in raiding or whatever. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this event and what your guys' plans are in terms of maybe alliance raids, if you've had this discussion with your alliance or not. This is tough, mostly because the type of characters available aren't very great. I think this is actually worse than the Symbiotic milestone, because those characters were obviously really good, and military characters are less so, especially for the raiding aspect of the game. So I'm really not sure about this at all. But hey, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this, and I hope that this math helped you to maybe think about how much you're going to need to do daily in order to clear this event. So till next time, guys, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Boylon signing out.